Hey folks, welcome to the channel. This is the video where I'm going to talk about a tool that I found online. It was created by a content creator named Nischa, and it just basically does sort of like what the budget by paycheck, or excuse me, the conscious spending plan by Ramit Sethi did, where it kind of groups what you're spending into wants, needs, and long-term savings. And it says, hey, you should be spending this percentage of those different categories, and it just kind of analyzes it for you. So this is the page just that is the welcome, and it gives you a little bit of information. I downloaded this spreadsheet by following a link on her video about this worksheet. And I think it's this video which I will share with you so that you also, if you like it, you will have the ability to check it out yourself. I'm going to go ahead and click in here. The tool assumes a 50-30-20 budget breakdown. So 50% going into needs, 20% going into savings and investments, and 30% going into wants. You can adjust these if you'd like. The things that are going on here they're using these numbers, so it'll just tell you whether or not it's right. If you look at these, the formulas are just using what's happening in the workbook. So in this workbook, I do find that I'm going over budget, but I try to put in as much real information as I can, but things like the minimum debt payments, arguably, and let me just scroll down here. Let me make sure that you can see this yeah, you can. Arguably, this will not always be here because I'm getting ready to pay it off. I also have a extra debt payment over here. So, if you think well, are you going over $66 every month? No, I'm not. I just did the best I could to enter all of this information into the workbook. The other thing I want to note is this is not my take-home pay. Nischa has recommended that as part of your analysis, you include what you're paying and what your employer is paying in insurance, as well as what you and your employer are contributing towards your long-term investments. And she's right, that'll totally give you a better idea of what your expenses and what your investments are, as opposed to just looking at the net take-home pay and not actually realizing what's happening within the deductions, and maybe not even deductions, the contributions that your workplace is providing, that if you weren't working there, you would need to account for those yourself, particularly if you think in terms of insurance. Because when I retire, I'm just not going to magically not have insurance, that is being contributed to by my employer. It's going to go away, but I would have to account for that. So knowing that is helpful, particularly, right now, my goal is, what am I going to need for retirement for real? What is it that may be hidden that I need to account for? So this just kind of puts it, like, it makes it visible. So in looking this, it came with some needs that were in here, and I added some. I took some out. Same thing here with the savings and investments. I added and took some out based on what is actually going on with my budget. And looking at the breakdown, we can see it's like, I mean, you guys know what my focus has been. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm focused on, first of all, paying off any debt that I've had, and that's been ongoing for a while. The second focus is to retire. I just really I'm ready to retire. And you can see that in what I'm actually doing. I mean, the amount that is going into savings and investments is pretty high. Even if we removed this, because I'll be paying off that debt pretty soon, it's still above what her recommendation is. But and then I'm not spending very much in wants at all. I do expect that to go up. I mean, if we want to talk about um, eventually when my emergency funds totally beefed up, I'm not contributing to sinks anymore. Um, then, you know, I have the expectation that I'm going to travel a little bit more. I'm going to buy a few more clothes. Maybe I'll buy more things for my grandkids that they don't need. Maybe I will add more to personal care because I used to get my nails done and I don't now because it's not been something that I felt like I should be putting money into. So, you know, things will adjust a little bit, but right now, what I'm focused on, this totally makes sense what's happening. If you're in here and you're totally focused on perhaps paying off your debt, maybe you are someone who says, I'm going to use my full 30%. I don't, you know, I'm not going to deprive myself because I have debt. I am going to put money into my debt, but you can kind of look at the numbers and say, okay, if I use my full 30% that um, is in my want category, then how much is going to be left for my extra debt? So it'll help you plan, help you figure out what you need to do. For me, what I'm looking at, okay, well, when I retire, what are the expenses that are going on in my budget now that are not going to go away just because I retire? And that's pretty much all of these, the need column. The idea for me is to, by the time I retire, I have no debt. I don't use my credit card except as a tool when I need to. And I'm able to pay it off right away because I've been able to beef up my emergency fund, my 10K savings, my sinking funds. All of those are fully funded. And if I have something come up in my house or I need to replace my tires, then why, gosh, I don't need to worry about it because I don't need to sacrifice a need because I've got it covered in those extra funds that will be available to me. So again, this is a planning tool. I think it was totally worth filling out and looking at and analyzing, and which is why I wanted to share it with you. So what I will do is I will share the link with you so that if you want to download this sheet and fill it out yourself, you'll be able to do that. And the next video I have it's going to be roughly 1 week from now, and it will be my regular weekly check-in. So I will talk to you then.